I asked for that song because we're talking about the 12 powers. And it is that light within us, that divine mind within us that raises us up above all things. And it just resonated with me. That song always resonates with me. But when I first heard it, it was about somebody else raising me up. And now, today, I know that it's about that power within me that when I tap into it, raises me up. So to recap, Shawn, our first week, talked about the power of faith, which is our ability to believe and with confidence and to have conviction. Faith sees the invisible, believes the incredible, and receives the impossible. The next week we talked about, the power of will, which is our willingness to see things from a spiritual perspective, to choose and to decide. It's not about being willful, it's about being willing. Then was the power of understanding. It's found in the front part of the brain as well as the power of will is. And it's our ability to know from within, from inspiration and from intuition. And then last week was the power of imagination, which is our ability to envision and to dream and to conceptualize. And today we talk about the power of zeal, which is my favorite power. And it is the ability, it brings intensity and enthusiasm. It's the inward fire of the soul that urges humankind onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservatism. It's vitalization or revitalization, our generative energy, our get up and go, the ability to be enthusiastic and passionate, as well as to inspire and to motivate oneself. It's directed energy focused on an ideal to be realized, and it's natural to all of us, just like all the powers. They're already in us. It's just about our willingness to activate them. And it's signified by the color orange, which is also our second chakra, which is the color, which is all about desire and creation. It's our propelling force. Zeal energy is located near the back of the neck, right here. And I just wanted you to take a moment to reflect upon what you love about life. What really gets you going? What feeds your soul? What are your passions? Thinking of this allows us to open the power of zeal and fully bring it forth in our life. Zeal is from the Greek word zealous, which means to be passionate and enthusiastic about life. Being the way. Life is flowing through us. Our joy is not dependent on external circumstances. It is within us. We don't get zeal, we already have it. We just have to activate it. We just have to look at things from a different perspective. We have to change our mind, just like all the other 11 powers. It's an attitude of forwardness and courageousness. It's single-minded devotion to one's purpose. Now in Scripture, Simon the Canaanite is the apostle that represents zeal. And the Canaanites were respected for their passion and commitment to their faith. And Simon became that about Jesus' teaching. Pure zeal is pure passion, complete presence and focus on what brings us joy. When we stay connected to our source, our faith has, as the zeal flows through us. The power of the mind to say, I am not really having fun doing this. What would make it more fun for me? To open to some surprising idea, some gift giving, some way of joy in whatever you're doing. So it's a shifting of our thoughts from I have to do this to I choose to do this. And what am I going to get or what am I going to give from this place? Charles Fillmore said, one of my favorite quotes in the whole world, at 94 years old, Charles Fillmore said, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with the mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. I hope at 94 I'm still saying that and doing it, okay? So when we discover the value of something that we get a sense of joy from, we're rediscovering or activating or reactivating, that zeal runs through us. It cannot not run through through us. I feel it when I know I'm going to go dancing. I feel it when I'm asked for, what my thoughts are, and I go in and I don't, it's not really my thoughts, it's what comes through me. I feel it when I'm given an opportunity to look at myself and say, okay, what's really going on here? Let's get honest with myself. These days, I feel it when I get a call about a wedding, or I still get it when I get calls for my work, for chair massage, or having an opportunity to go in and speak to a corporation. It's that childlike spontaneity, our get up and go, that desire in us to move forward. Whatever, that song makes me want to shout. Whatever makes you want to shout is where the zeal comes from. It's what our dogs do when we come home. They're all excited to see us. That's their zeal. They can't help it. It's there. And it's a sense of remembering who we are and why we came here. Another way to look at this is when I'm unhappy or there's divine discontent within me, it reminds me that there's another way. It's another path to finding my zeal. When I'm not happy about something, what is it directing me towards? Or it's directing me away from something, but also it's directing me towards something else. So to look in and see what that is. So to move towards what is authentically yours, feel it fully. Most emotions are felt for 40 seconds, but we spend lifetimes resisting feeling negativity. Just feel it, because under that could be the spark that you need to know. That's where the zeal is waiting to come through. So there are 3 important aspects of zeal: enthusiasm, audacity, and devotion. So enthusiasm comes from the Greek root entheos, which is God within, filled with God. Divine spirit is moving through me. To be enthused is to be in zeal, to be tapped in, to be turned on, and to be moving forward. It is that feeling of being filled with spirit, knowing that it is the truth of who we are. Our eagerness for life, our interest in and our optimism about our intentions and our plans. Kenneth shared last night that he met Taylor Swift when she was really young, and her mother said to Kenneth, she's going to be big, she's going to be a big star. And I wondered in that moment, how much of her stardom came because her mother believed that and instilled that in her. And so she went on to do, I'm sure there was lots of coaching and voice lessons and everything, but she had that spark from within her. As you activate zeal, you have more energy, exuberance, zest, and to be full of light. It's really about plugging in, right, to a source that's already within us, but we're connecting to the big light, and this is our light, so that we can burn brightly. So Norman Vincent Peale said, think excitement, talk excitement, act out excitement, and you are bound to become an excited person. Life will take on a new zest, deeper interest, and greater meaning. You can think, talk, and act yourself into dullness, or into monotony, or into unhappiness. By the same process, you can build up inspiration, excitement, and a surging depth of joy. So there's an exercise that I was taught many years ago in massage school. If you want more enthusiasm in your life and more excitement, every day, go in front of a mirror and look at yourself and say enthusiasm 10 times. But each time you say it louder. And I promise you, you will feel more energized after that little exercise. It's funny. A long time ago, I was caught up in these cycles of joining network marketing companies. And I was always motivated by the talks and the products, and I wanted to help people and blah, 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 blah. And finally, I realized it wasn't about the products. It was about the spirit within me that wanted to go on and inspire and motivate. It took me many years to figure out that I was supposed to be a minister, but ultimately that's where I ended up. But it also made me realize, for example, like last night, it was my zeal that said yes to Ashley to get up here and sing. And over the course of the week, it was, I was just practicing and doing what I had to do, but it wasn't fun. It was just something I had to do. And then as it got closer, I got more and more stressed out. I got more and more freaked out about it. and poor Doug, I kind of lashed out at Doug. And but the line that really made me go within last night was, hey, we're here to have fun. And that's when I really lashed out at him. I actually swore at him. And I said, okay, what about this do I need to look at? What is going on here? And I realized that it was another one of those things that I wasn't really doing for me. I wasn't having fun. And for now, anyway, I know I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to stand up. I love singing in choir. I talked to Ashley about being backup singers when she does another Tina Turner song. Like, that kind of stuff excites me. There's dance involved, and I'm not doing it alone. You know, I'm up here alone. This is my place of feeding my heart. This is where I feel my zeal. It's not in standing up and singing a solo. And I had to do it. Right? I had to do it to get to that place, and I had to do the work underneath it to find this out. And that kind of stuff excites me. I love it. I love finding out about myself so I can come to yeses and nos authentically. So the next aspect, I should say, of zeal is audacity. Our power source for moving in the direction of fulfillment and beyond bounds of perceived limitations is audacity. I was pretty audacious to actually think, no, I'm not going to shame myself into what I did last night. Cross that out. Quality of boldness and forwardness, a necessity for successful human living. Audacity can be seen as pushy or presumptuous or spunky or daring. As a spiritual aspect of zeal, audacity is our capacity for boldly proceeding in the direction of our intentions. Fillmore taught that zeal is the great universal force that impels humankind to spring forth in a field of endeavor and accomplish the seemingly miraculous. Audacity is what Marianne Williamson meant when she said, "Our playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. So shine, be audacious and shine." Audaciousness is you insisting that no material circumstance can interfere with your ability to shine the light of your spiritual nature. You know, the other thing that I realized in my saying yes to singing last night was how inspired I am by watching everybody else get up here and sing. And it was kind of like the same thing with the network marketing. I watched all these other people doing it, and I wanted to do it, not realizing that ultimately I realized it, but having to do it to realize that wasn't my thing, but to just enjoy other people being in their inspiration and being in their zeal. I thought I was going to have to get up here and talk about forgiveness today because of last night, but God, I don't. The third thing is devotion. Jesus encouraged us to tell the truth. Be in integrity with yourself. Do what you love for the love of it. Be unified, which was Jesus' primary message throughout Thomas, to be one and to know your own divine identity. Jesus seems to be reminding us that whatever our inner motivation, it will come out. Character reveals itself. Devotion is our capacity for wholehearted, single-minded attention. It is our power of intensity. It is the fire in our belly. Devotion fulfills the law of the mind. Where thought goes, energy flows. The flow of energy responding to devoted attention is not random. It is precise, amplifying and reproducing the original thought. This is why spiritual practice is essential for a spiritual experience in life. Practice builds up our consciousness. Devotion is present moment engagement. Zeal can only be experienced in the present moment. Now, I've been reading about and looking into super-agers. Now, super-agers are people that live into the 80s, 90s, and 100s, not only with physical health, but with mental health, with no dementia. You know, they're on. And, they eat right, and they go to get enough sleep, and they avoid stress, all the things that we know are really good for us. But there are three other things that were really pronounced. They have a community of friends that they talk to a lot, that they spend time with. The second one was they are passionate about something. And this was where the zeal came in. They're passionate about either their work or gardening or feeling grateful every day about everything, staying involved with family. It's something that they are passionate about. And the one, I've got this AARP magazine, and it talked about these people that are 96 years old and he's still out traveling, and he's a researcher, and he's not necessarily doing the research, but he's sharing about it. It's like, wow, 96 years old and he's still doing all that. And it's amazing what some of these people are doing. And it comes back to feeling like they have a purpose and continuing to do that. Enthusiasm, audacity, and devotion press toward the future, but it is necessary for us to live in the present and experience whatever we have to experience right now in order to move forward. Nancy Napier talks about our optimum future self. So it's really about calling that in, but also being right here, right now. Gabe and I went to a funeral on Friday for our neighbor. She literally lives next door to us, 96 years old. The woman was amazing in what she did. And I was actually sorry when I left. I wish I had gotten to know her more. But she was this little old lady who was a Spitfire. It was only like the last month that she got sick and ended up transitioning. But she accomplished so much in life. She had so much passion. And in hearing her eulogy, it was just moving. And both Gabe and I were like, wow, I wish I got to know her a little better, So, but even appreciation of this moment's possibility grounds us in zeal. We can appreciate our future potential while living consciously and gratefully in the now, staying present to what is, and know that divine ideas will come, right? Divine ideas come all the time. That's our prosperity, is our divine ideas, and grabbing onto them and seeing what really resonates. I thought of Maria a lot during this talk, because she always talks about her joy meter, and I was like, and your joy meter is a lot when she's singing. I'm like, well, that's not my joy meter. I found that out last night, but I appreciate you loving it and having that kind of passion. It's awesome. So staying present to what is and know the divine ideas will come. Then boldly step forth with audacity and enthusiasm to do what ought to be done by you. And you'll see the little sparks may come. Maybe old dreams might come through again. Singing, dancing, playing the piano, gardening. Who knows? There's as many people as there are here. There are different ways that could spark your enthusiasm. So do what excites you. The power of zeal is asking you to be the conduit for that spark within you. We plug in to source, and the energy begins to move. We become the conduit for whatever it is we came here to create. Whatever it is that lights your fire, it is wanting to be lit, and you would not, or else you would not be here today, whether on the planet or especially not here listening to me talk about it. It wants to remind us of what we have to tap into. So Howard Thurman had another great quote, and what he said was, "Don't look around the world and ask, what does the world need? But ask, what makes me come alive?" And do that. Because what the world needs is people that come alive. So, come alive. It's this aliveness that we're all looking for. It's that inspiration that inspires others. And it's looking inside, not outside of ourselves. If we look outside ourselves and notice what makes us come alive, well, maybe that's a clue. That might be a clue, but that might not be the whole thing. So it's really about digging in. What's my spark? What's my direction? What wants to be activated through me? So we have enthusiasm, audacity, and devotion. But I want to talk a little bit about the power of wisdom, which is going to come down the pike a little bit, and there'll be a whole talk on that. But the power of wisdom we need to use a little bit with our enthusiasm, because we don't want to burn ourselves out, right? We could be so enthusiastic and then get fizzled out, right? So we need to use our power of wisdom and always check in with ourselves. Am I overwhelmed? Am I doing too much? And back off a little bit. When you're on the road that lights your fire, you have constant energy available to you to pour yourself out into whatever you are creating in the world. If you are following the fire in your belly, then you are giving to the world in a way that the world needs, because you are alive, and what the world needs is people who come alive. But you also have to be careful that you're not going to burn yourself out. And you also have to remember that discontent can be a pathway. So to summarize, what is zeal? It's the natural energy in each of us, the inward fire of the soul that searches humankind onward. It's our inner flame. Why do we need it? We need it to stay alive, to move forward, to bring about our dreams and desires. And how do we activate it? Look at situations and opportunities for joy. Change your perspective. Be in the moment of what is. Even if it's the doldrums, be with that and know this too shall pass. So this week, I want you to think about things that make your heart sing, make you get excited, gives you enthusiasm. What brings me joy? And do it. So I want to say, as Kenneth started and as I end my service every week, I want to say thank you. I'm your sister in prayer and possibility. I see you, I appreciate you, and I love you. And know that you are blessed and a blessing.